Let's go fishing.
Let's go fishing.
I'm on a mission.
I'm on a mission.
It's so pretty, I'd sure hate to waste this chance. We'll find a shady little spot, not too cool, not too high. Perfect for a little fishing and romance. Oh yes. There's nothing so inviting, nothing quite as exciting as a little fishing when they're biting. Let's go fishing.
Let's go fishing.
I got a pole.
Well, morning, boys and girls. I decided this morning I'd get me a dozen shiners and go up and do the lazy man fishing for bass, and it worked out pretty good. I caught some nice fish this morning, and it was just another nice morning. And the good Lord blessed me with another day. And no wind again, no wind, which is a good thing and bad thing. It kind of cools it off a little bit. You can see I was using floats. I did kind of free line it a little bit too with just a hook and line, but most of the time I was using a float on it so I could see what was going on. And it was a real good morning catching fish. The fish were about, I determined a live target on there for just a little bit there, and I really don't need it because I can see them coming up there and feeding. But the fish were about 10 foot down, so I put my shiners about 8 foot, and I put up from the float, and it worked out pretty good. They come up after it, and I didn't put no split shot or anything on. There's no weight at all, just a hook and a float. But just a fun morning catching fish. The artificial thing's good, but sometimes it gets to be like work, especially if they're not really on anything and you got to work for them. So I always like to kind of, get things back into perspective, you might say. I just bought me a dozen shiners, which is $25, and it's a morning of usually catching fish. So it's worth every penny of it. It really is. You go out and if you want to catch some fish, get your dozen shiners and put them in a 5-gallon bucket if you don't have a live well, keep them alive in, and put an aerator in there and put a little bit of ice this time of year when it's really hot like this. Keep your water temperature down, and you'll catch some fish. I'm going to break out my bluegill pole too. I'm going to do a little bit of bluegill fishing here in the next couple days. I haven't done that for a while. See if I can catch me a mess of bluegill. About 7 or 8 is enough for my wife and I. I can eat on them for dinner, and then I can have them fry them up there and have them for the next morning's breakfast. But just a little change of pace. Bluegills and shell crackers, they're still here. There's if you go up the river there and you put on your side scan and you look, there's still nests everywhere. And yesterday I seen 2 bass on a nest, and it's pretty good sized bass. So, the old saying is, it's full moon right now going on, and the old saying is, they spawn all year long down here in Florida, South Florida, and that's true. They don't come in hard like they do in the spring of the year, but they do. They spawn, or some of them spawn year round down here. Every time a full moon comes up, there'll be a few come in and spawn. Now the lake level, I think it's below 11 feet. It's down to 10 something, which makes it really dangerous. So if you go out on the lake, be careful. I seen Tanner Seabold. He fished the Roland Martin thing going on this weekend. It looks like he tore up his lower unit a little bit. So it's just places where you used to run, and even when the water was down, still can be dangerous. So be careful. But yeah, you can go in the canals and go in the river here, and you can catch fish in here and kind of take a few mornings and try that. I mean, don't go out in that lake. And then okay, you got to remember too, if the wind does pick up and you're out there and it's only like 1.5 feet, 2 foot deep, and you get like 3-footers, 2 or 3 foot waves. Well, do the math. When you're in there fishing and that 2 or 3 foot wave comes in, now the bottom part of that wave, there's not going to be any water. You're going to be on dry ground. So yeah, kind of keep an eye on the wind too if you decide to go out into the lake, because that is a major factor. Now it's always down here in Okeechobee. It is. They're about on any lake, but down here on Okeechobee it really is. Just be careful. But again, this is relaxing. You just set your pole down, let the bobber, watch the bobber go down, and catch a fish. It's just, yeah. And I'm using my Shimano reels and I got my Falcon rods from doing this. And one of them's a spinning reel rod. It's an ultralight, which I use shaky head and drop shot. But I found out that I could not drive the hook in with these shiners, and I lost several fish with the spinning rod, but that's okay too. But the Falcon, the bait caster Shimano with the 20-pound test, I didn't lose any on it because you can really drive the hook home. Something that a lot of people and a lot of anglers don't consider, and I'm one of them, I'm bad about it, is making sure your hooks are sharp. I mean, that's so important because the inside of a bass's mouth is really bony, and you gotta drive that thing in that bone sometimes, and it's just hard to do. A lot of guys use braid, and they use like a fluorocarbon or a mono leader on it, so. But yeah, it's just get your dozen shiners and try this, guys. It's fun. Yeah, just another relaxing morning on Okeechobee, guys. And the fish, this old hot weather, they're down in deep. You got to go down deep water for them. I mean, early in the morning you can catch a few on the bank. They're up, if the bait's up there, they're up there feeding on it. But as the day goes on, it gets hot. They go down to where in the comfort zone where most of the oxygen is, and a little bit of shade, and a little bit of feed. So they'll go down deep. And against something like this, the bait fish come in there. The old food chain, you might say. It goes microscopic up against up against metal, and they come in the minis and come in there and feed on it. Then it just goes right on up to bass or catfish or whatever happens to be in that body of water. And that's you just got to kind of find them out. If you got electronics, you pull in there and you turn them on, and you see that there's bait fish in there, then you can game on, guys. Usually, they're going to be in there. And it's kind of funny though, as the sun comes up and the shade switches sides, so does all the fish. Fish switches sides with the shade. If you're driving down the road when it's 100 degrees and you look over underneath a tree in a pasture field and all the cattle are underneath that shady tree, these fish are the same way. They'll kind of migrate to the shade because the water just might be 3 or 4 degrees cooler, and the bait fish go right along with them. So yeah, it's something to think about. When that sun's coming up, even if it's a tree or anything, you got a little bit of shady spot, them fish will pull in there, especially in the summertime. Get out of that direct sun.
Summertime stuff. See any feeding this morning?
We saw one bass, the rest of them I think were gone.
Yeah.